Bonjour, aujourd'hui on parlait de Paris. J'ai décelé, je ne parlais pas bien français et j'ai très fatigué. Peut-être de mon défaut, but we move on. So, hello everyone, welcome to the Freestyle Podcast. I'm Nadia Gilmore, and today I'm going to be answering the top 10 questions. Well, I have a little more than 10 questions that Americans have about traveling to Paris. Now, my parents had taken me to Paris for my 18th birthday, so I will do my best to answer these questions for you guys, and I have some bonuses and tips and tricks at the end of the video, so you definitely want to stay around to hear those, and let's get into it. Okay, so let's get into the top questions. Number 1, do I need to speak French to visit Paris? No. The answer, no, you really don't. I learned French just because I love the French culture and I've always wanted to learn another language, and French was just so beautiful. So I learned it for the heck of it, but honestly, everyone there speaks English and French. Sometimes it's just really cool to be able to speak their native tongue, and it's in a way polite, I would say. Even though you're not being disrespectful if you're not speaking their native tongue, but it's just showing effort and that you care to engage in their culture. So, no, it's not needed, but it's just something if you want to do, you can most definitely do. But it's a huge tourist area, so they know everyone's going to be speaking English and many other languages, but primarily English. So you are perfectly fine. Number 2, is Paris really as expensive as people say? So the most expensive purchase is going to be travel expenses and bookings for hotels. I think everything else is around the same as US money in the sense of food or souvenirs were actually quite affordable, which is interesting because I thought it was going to be extremely expensive. When I visited the White House, the Capitol, I saw the White House, but the Capitol, everything in there was extremely overpriced. I got this little piece of paper that was the Constitution, like a fake copy of it, and it was much more than what it should have been, but everything in Paris was reasonably priced. So in the sense of items and food, once you're in Paris, it's actually quite reasonable, but getting to Paris is the most expensive part. Getting to Paris and back. Now we flew directly into Paris from where we were to DC, from DC to Paris. So if you want to cut your budget a little bit, you could travel to another country within Europe near Paris, probably the border of Spain. Or you could still travel to France, but just not directly into Paris because it's going to be much more expensive. But it was just much more convenient for us, so that's why we did so. Okay, question number 3. What should I wear so I don't look like a tourist? That's actually a tourist. So that's actually a really great question. I wish I knew the answer to that before I went. Actually, any sort of flamboyant, elaborated outfit, something that's extremely sophisticated and vibrant. They don't have much color. Anything that's in a way flashy, just something that's very embellished, that shows that you're a tourist, because the locals don't actually dress up in the sense they are all very put together. They kind of give me the clean girl aesthetic, very put together but neutral colors, New York trench coats, everything's just like, it's put together, but it's not overly showing off. And if they were wearing a skirt, all the girls had nylons underneath, and anyone that didn't were tourists, and it was quite obvious because their makeup was done, which I wish I knew how to do makeup. I'm not focused. There we go. I wish I learned how to do my makeup because my makeup looked terrible in Paris. Anyways, that's beside the point. But their makeup is just like clean looking, and so yeah, in order to look like a localist, which you don't really need to. There's no reason to want to look like a localist, a local. But if you want to, just wear darker tone clothing and have headphones in. Everyone's got headphones, or reading a book on their way to work. Okay, Are Parisians rude to Americans? So Parisians are not, but I just had a friend that recently went during their Independence Day, and she said that they were rude. I'm thinking that it might be you. Like, you might be the problem, because they were quite polite to us. I believe they match your energy. But no, they're not actually rude. They're very polite, but they also know Americans bring in the money and they tip like their life depends on it. So in a way, they kind of pretend nice. But either way, I've never had a bad experience with any workers or any Parisians. They're all pretty polite, actually. I've spoken to a few people on the train station. I was drawing and this guy complimented my drawing. He spoke French and English. So I had a few interactions with people and they've been pretty polite. And so yeah, the whole persona and stereotype that Parisians are rude in general isn't technically true. I think they just match your energy. So it's probably a you problem. Question number 5 is, what are the biggest cultural differences I should know? Modesty. I know we went during the colder times, but I googled like what's appropriate to wear, what isn't, and it said showing your shoulders isn't actually, in the sense of like no sleeves, isn't appropriate in Paris. Oh, question number 6 is it safe to walk around Paris at night? So I wouldn't recommend doing that if you're alone, but if you're with someone, just be reasonable. Don't act like the girls on Taken.
Oui.
You know, taxi here are so damn expensive. Want to share?
Yeah.
Just be reasonable and you should be good. But yeah, we actually went out at night to see the Eiffel Tower glitter and glow, and it was quite delightful. You have some people where you just make sure they're not going to do anything weird. But if you're alone, I wouldn't recommend going out alone at night. But if you're with someone, you should be good. Okay, question number 7. What is the best time of the year to visit Paris? So that's a great question. We went in February, end of February, early March, and that was not, weather-wise, wasn't really the best, and it was in the winter stages, so there wasn't anything that was growing or blooming. Everything was still kind of dull from the winter. So I would recommend going when the season's changing or the summertime. So from spring and then summer, fallish when it's turning orange, the leaves are turning orange, and then winter when it's snowing. I think those are, I obviously don't live in Paris, so I don't know like the best time, but based off of being there, I would have preferred a season, you know what I mean? If it's gonna be cold, at least let it snow. That's my saying. Now, question number 8 is, do I need to tip in restaurants? So yes, you still tip, but you just don't tip as much. You don't do percentages. Like we do percentage, 12%, or we give them a percent. But in there, you just give them €3 coin or a €2 coin, and you're good to go. So 9 is it worth it going to the Eiffel Tower, or is it overrated? The Eiffel Tower is magnificent. It's much bigger than what I thought it would be for some reason, and you can see it from different places. When we walked across the Pont Neuf to see the Louvre Museum, I could see the Eiffel Tower on that bridge, and it's quite a delightful sight. So anywhere you are within that little region, you can see the Eiffel Tower, which is super cool. But I highly recommend taking the elevator all the way up to the top and seeing that, because that's an experience. Best time to do that is actually in the evening when the sun's setting. And then we went down, and as soon as we went down, the lights started glittering, well, glowing, flickering. It was pretty cool. Now, question number 10. What's something tourists always do wrong in Paris? I can't really think. I don't think there's anything that they do specifically that's wrong, other than we're kind of going through it to make sure you don't do anything wrong. So there isn't really anything that we do wrong, because I think we're so cautious about doing everything right that we don't really, I can't think of one. Okay, 11. Where can I eat? Honestly, there are so many different cafes, different places to grab food and snacks. I recommend this one place. I will put in the link down below. I will find it for you guys. They had the samurai sauce, it's called, and it was in this little alleyway, and it was so good. So good. I will put in the link down below because it was so good. And if you guys know of any places that was good to eat at, definitely comment that down below. Do not forget to subscribe. Now let's continue. You can honestly, there's a coffee shop in almost every single corner, and there's always something to eat, and the price is around the same as somewhere in the United States, so it's really nice. Now question number 12, are the bathrooms dirty?
Oui, peut-être.
Now, I never went to a public bathroom, so I couldn't answer that. We had not press pass, I'm working on that. We had museum passes. So we were able to we went through the museums to go to use the restrooms, and that was very delightful, very beneficial. So I would recommend getting a museum pass because not only do you have a free bathroom to use, but also you get to go into museums. Question 13, what should I pack and wear? Comfy shoes. I was trying to look cute. I wore comfy shoes like tennis shoes. Don't worry about trying to look cute. No one cares. You know, for photos, just don't show your shoes or just get nice new shoes. But for the most part, comfortable walking shoes because you're going to be walking a lot. We did 10 miles a day. So definitely comfortable shoes. And what to pack and wear? Yeah, definitely comfortable shoes. It depends on the season, what time you're going. Just pack warm clothes or cold clothes. But that's about it. And like I've mentioned before with their style, just neutral tones. Don't worry about going all out because they don't even dress like that, but they're very put together. Not meaning you can look like a bum, but meaning that you don't need to be extravagant. You can just tone it down a little bit, which I'm glad I couldn't afford going crazy because it honestly doesn't matter. Question 14, is it hard to use the metro? No.
No.
It takes some time. Honestly, we were there for a week and it took me 2 days to figure things out, and then I was on it, like I knew the route. So no, the bus ride from where we were into the city was about 45-minute drive, but it's really not that crazy. I recommend doing it before you get to Paris. Like my brother did our photos and ID and stuff like that and paid for it, so that when we went to Paris, it was already there and we just need to log ourselves in basically. Now question 15, where should I stay? Honestly, that's up to you and how much you're willing to spend. We went to the Marriott Resort, which is out in the countryside. We kind of didn't want to be in this city. Not only was it more expensive, but it's just not as calming and pastoral and peaceful. But the farmer side is so peaceful. So I would recommend that side if you want something cheaper. I wouldn't recommend a Marriott if you want cheaper. That won't help. But yeah, wherever you stay depends on how much you're willing to pay. Now, okay, so I went through all of the questions that Americans had about traveling to Paris. Now, the last thing is I have some tips and tricks for you guys. Now, I know you guys will appreciate these, especially if you're a girl. The first one is makeup. I didn't know how to apply makeup properly and professionally, and I did a terrible job. So here's just a quick tip. If you're gonna put liquid foundation on your face, put it on your wrist first, well, the back of your hand first, and then take a brush, not a foam brush, but like almost a hair brush, put that like a paintbrush, use that and then apply it onto your skin. It's gonna turn out 20 times better. It's gonna look flawless. It's gonna blend into your skin, and then use natural light to make sure that everything's covered. Because I didn't do that and I looked terrible. I don't want that for anyone because you want to look cute and good when you travel, and I looked terrible. So that's just a quick tip. I have more. Number 2 is take a perfume, one that you've never used, or get a new one that you won't ever use again, and while you're in Paris, spray it on your coat, on your back, on you, on your hair, on everything where you'll constantly be smelling it, and then store that perfume away, and then whenever you smell that again, you will instantly go back to Paris. It's such a cool thing that your brain does. But yeah, that's a great tip and trick, because like I don't know what made me think about doing it, but I did, and I'm so happy because whenever I smell that thing, I instantly go back to Paris, and it's really cool. I say you can time travel because of that. Anyways, the third one is to enjoy your time there. Really, just take time to think about it, breathe it, and inhale it, and think about it, because sometimes you can be overwhelmed and disassociate, which did happen, but just like breathe and like acknowledge that you're there, because you won't appreciate it until you're gone. But try to enjoy yourself there, and don't feel like I need to do this, I need this Instagram picture, I need that. Just enjoy your time in Paris. You're in Paris, enjoy it, okay? And then the fourth thing is read a book that's related to France or Paris. Now, I am currently reading The History of the Medieval World, and I had already read this. I was reading this while in Paris, and it's about Coco Chanel, the founder of Chanel. And it's really cool because it's based off of true events and true people and things that did happen. She's talking about celebrating the making of the Pont Neuf, which is a bridge in Paris where you can actually see the Eiffel Tower. It's really cool because like when she says that and then I see it, it's a cool experience if you love reading books. Now, if you're not into books, watch a video or movies about Paris or France and the history of it. It'll make you much more excited while you're there, because you'll be like, oh, I remember hearing this and that. And another thing is learn a few French phrases, because you're never going to be speaking French. Like, there's no reason for you to be speaking French ever. So take advantage of the idea that you can speak French to a French person in France. So yeah, those are my tips and tricks and answers to everyone's questions. Well, Americans' questions about traveling to Paris, and I hope I did a great job answering them. I do appreciate you guys being here and listening to my video. You guys have a great day. I will see you guys next Tuesday and Saturday. And I also have a short film coming out Saturday on my film account. So go check that out this Saturday. And yeah, thank you guys very much, and you have a wonderful day. Bonjour, aujourd'hui I have some trips. Question number 5, what are the biggest cultural